At 30,000 feet above the ground, inside a luxury commercial flight, power and privilege sit comfortably in first class, at least for some. A sharp-suited CEO settles into his seat, surrounded by silence, confidence, and entitlement. Then his eyes land on the man beside him, a tired single father traveling with his young daughter. The father's clothes are simple, his hands rough, his expression worn by long nights and quiet sacrifices. To the CEO, he doesn't belong there. With a smirk, the CEO makes a comment just loud enough to be heard. Then another. He questions whether the man paid for the seat or got lucky with a free upgrade. Laughter ripples from a few nearby passengers. Flight attendants grow uncomfortable, but remain silent. The single father lowers his eyes, gently adjusting his daughter's blanket, choosing dignity over confrontation. The humiliation continues. The CEO complains about lower standards and jokes about first class turning into a charity section. Each word cuts deeper, not just for the father, but for everyone watching. Yet the man says nothing. His calm is mistaken for weakness. His silence is taken as surrender. What no one knows is that this quiet man has spent years making impossible choices, raising a child, alone, carrying responsibilities heavier than any briefcase in that cabin. His strength isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. It waits as the plane climbs higher. Tension thickens the air. The CEO leans back, satisfied, believing he has asserted his superiority. But fate is already preparing its response, because at 30,000 feet, pride can fall faster than gravity allows, and soon every assumption made in that first-class cabin will be violently shattered. Asterisk at first, passengers think it's just turbulence, another routine bump in the sky. But then the plane lurches, violently, sharp enough to send a ripple of gasps through the cabin. Overhead bins rattle. A glass shatters somewhere behind first class. The flight attendants freeze, their trained smiles cracking for just a second too long. Then the captain's voice cuts through the noise, no calm introduction, no rehearsed reassurance. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an emergency. The plane dips again, harder this time. A baby cries. Someone grips the armrest so tightly, their knuckles turn white. The CEO's confident posture stiffens as he glances around, suddenly aware that money and status mean nothing in the sky. The captain speaks again, this time faster, tense. Is there any fighter pilot on board? The question lands like a shockwave. Whispers explode across the cabin. A fighter pilot. On a commercial flight, passengers exchange terrified looks, realizing this isn't a standard malfunction. Something has gone terribly wrong in the cockpit. Maybe the co-pilot is unconscious. Maybe the aircraft has lost critical control systems. The details don't matter, only the danger does. Oxygen masks drop from the ceiling. Panic spreads. People pray. Others sob quietly. The CEO's face drains of color as he clutches his phone, staring at photos of a life he suddenly isn't sure he'll return to. First class and economy blur into one shared fear. Flight attendants rush down the aisle, voices shaking as they try to maintain order. The plane shudders again, descending just enough for everyone to feel it in their stomachs. And then through the chaos, the silence of one man stands out, the same single father. Calm, focused, eyes forward. While everyone else breaks, he rises, because this emergency didn't just change the flight. It changed who mattered. Asterisk for a moment, no one notices him stand. Amid the crying, the prayers, and the chaos, the quiet single father gently wakes his daughter and asks a flight attendant to watch. His voice is steady for a man who should be terrified. Heads slowly turn as he steps into the aisle, posture straightening, shoulders squaring, as if a switch has been flipped. I can help, he says calmly. The cabin falls silent. The flight attendant hesitates, scanning his simple clothes, his tired face. Then she asks the question everyone is thinking. Sir, are you a pilot? He nods. Former Air Force, fighter jets. Gasps ripple through first class. The CEO's eyes widen. This is the same man he mocked, laughed at, dismissed as unworthy. The realization hits harder than the turbulence ever did. Escorted to the cockpit, the single father takes in the flashing alarms with trained eyes. The co-pilot is injured. Systems are failing, but fear never touches his face. His hands move, with muscle memory carved by years of combat training, emergency drills, and split-second decisions made at supersonic speed. Passengers feel it before they understand it. The plane begins to steady. Minutes stretch like hours. Then the captain's voice returns, this time filled with relief. Ladies and gentlemen, we have regained control. Please remain seated. Tears break out. Strangers hug. Lives are spared. When the plane lands safely, applause erupts through the cabin. The single father walks back to his seat, kneeling to hug his daughter. Who smiles unaware her hero has always been right beside her? The CEO can't meet his eyes. Because in one flight, arrogance was exposed, humility was earned. And everyone learned the same unforgettable lesson: never underestimate the quiet ones.